Welcome to Our Lady Queen of Peace, All Souls Service of Remembrance, November 2nd, 2023. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. There is an appointed time for everything, and a time for every affair under the heavens. We lovingly remember Virginia Stango. Virginia was born February the 2nd, 1932, and went home to the Lord October 24th, 2022. Virginia was born and raised in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. She was a dental receptionist for over 40 years. She knew every patient by name. Virginia would rather bake than cook. She made an amazing lemon meringue pie and apple crisp. Patricia Wiley. She was born March 19, 1929, and returned home to the Lord on October 28, 2022. That was a Morristown girl. She was a secretary at Campbell's Soup and for the Boy Scouts of America. She enjoyed traveling and cooking. She always hosted Thanksgiving dinner. Pat loved all animals. She would sit in her backyard and feed the chipmunks and the squirrels. Henrietta McCarthy. Henrietta was born October 30th, 1931, and went home to the Lord December 8th, 2022. Etta and her husband Fred had a tree farm in Lumberton. Etta was famous for her meatballs and ravioli. She was always dressed, with everything color coordinated. Her hair and nails were always done to perfection. Rose Boyle. Rose was born October 20th, 1936, and went home to the Lord January 11th, 2023. Rose was born and raised in Philadelphia. She was employed as a medical secretary. Rose was an avid golfer who played at least 3 times a week. She was a member of St. Christopher's Senior Group and the Somerton Civic Association. Robert Donahue. Robert was born June 20th, 1948, and went home to the Lord January the 12th, 2023. Bob was a tool and die maker by trade. He had his own machine shop. He is noted for creating the machine that makes milk cartons. Bob was a very quiet person. He was an avid Phillies and Eagles fan. He loved animals and had a devotion to St. Francis. Ronald Napoli. Ronald was born January the 12th, 1947, and went home to the Lord January the 24th, 2023. Ron was the director of finance for Conrail for 26 years. His interests were investments, movies, reading, and crossword puzzles. After retirement, he would go to Panera Bread for iced coffee and do his crossword puzzles. Ron was a man of great faith. He had a devotion to Saint Sister Catherine Drexel and Padre Pio. Vincent O'Rourke. Vincent was born August 21st, 1946, and went home to the Lord January the 9th, 2023. Vince was a longtime parishioner of Our Lady Queen of Peace. He was a member of the Knights of Columbus. He loved telling stories about Woodstock, which he attended. He still has the t-shirt to prove it. He was a very caring and generous person who would do anything for those he loved. Santo Celia. Santo was born August 26, 1966, and went home to the Lord February 11th, 2023. Santo was a musician. He played acoustic, electric, bass guitar, and piano. He loved sharing his passion for music with others. He was also an avid sports fan, especially for the Philadelphia teams. Santo also enjoyed astronomy and meteorology. He had several telescopes and would watch the storms come in or just look at the stars. Robert Strucco. Robert was born January the 29th, 1937, and went home to the Lord February 16th, 2023. Bob was a former member of our Consolation Ministry. He was a carpenter by trade. Bob was a people person. He never met a person he didn't like. He was a devoted Catholic and loved our church. He is described as committed, loyal, selfless, and family-oriented. Gerald Yeager. Gerald was born February the 20th, 1932, and went home to the Lord February the 26th, 2023. Jerry was a member of Our Lady Queen of Peace for over 60 years. He was an usher at the 9 a.m. Mass on Sunday. He loved to go camping and boating. He was also a competitive archer. He is described as loyal and faithful. His favorite food was dessert. Jeanette Bob. Jeanette was born July 27, 1936, and went home to the Lord April 19th, 2023. Ginny was a loving and faithful parishioner of Our Lady Queen of Peace. She was always willing to help. Ginny was the sacristan and receptionist for our parish. She had a strong will and always wanted to help anyone who needed help. She loved our parish with all her heart and would do anything for it. She loved ringing the bells at Mass and on Holy Thursday, hence her nickname, Ginny Bells. Yolanta Zemanek. Yolanta was born January the 3rd, 1953, and went home to the Lord April 29th, 2023. Everyone knows Yolanta as Jill. She was born in Poland. She loved to sing, dance, go fishing, and photography. She worked at the rectory of St. Adalbert's Church in Philadelphia. When she moved to Leisure Town, she was the gatekeeper for the community. She was witty and her laughter was contagious. Catherine Lease. Catherine was born September 10th, 1943, and went home to the Lord May 10th, 2023. Prior to her retiring in 2014, Kathy was a medical billing manager for the gastroenterology group in Mount Laurel. She was an avid reader, enjoyed playing cards, and loved to cook. She was a faithful person who attended Mass every Sunday until she was no longer able. David Ballon. David was born November 19th, 1966, and went home to the Lord May 10th, 2023. David worked as a corporate executive for TJ Maxx Marshalls. After he retired, he enjoyed living in Wildwood. He loved the beach, fine dining, and music. He is described as strong, intelligent, non-judgmental, and spiritual. Rafael Melendez Rodriguez. Rafael was born August 1st, 1929, and went home to the Lord on May 27th, 2023. Rafael was born in Puerto Rico. He was one of the founders of Christ the Redeemer Church in Mount Holly. He loved to play chess and dominoes. He was a faithful man who prayed the rosary every day. He is described as family-oriented, faithful, loyal, and patriotic. Carol Knowlton. Carol was born August 4th, 1961, and went home to the Lord May 31st, 2023. Carol was an auditor for the Department of Education. She loved spending time with her godson Tyler. They would go to the movies or just hang out together. She was very generous and loved buying lots of presents for her family at Christmas. Joseph Berger. Joseph was born April 27, 1932, and went home to the Lord June 7, 2023. Joe was a longtime parishioner of Our Lady Queen of Peace. He was an usher at the 4:30 Mass every Saturday and a fourth-degree member of the Knights of Columbus. He enjoyed reading the Wall Street Journal and Burlington County Times every day with his wife Dolores in the sunroom of their home. Julia Farmer. Julia was born January the 19th, 1942, and went home to the Lord June 17th, 2023. Julia was an avid reader and enjoyed doing crossword puzzles. She is described as loving, committed, supportive of her family, independent, and honest. When she was no longer able to attend Mass in person, she would watch it on her TV. She had a great devotion to St. Francis. Helen Scanlon. Helen was born November 2nd, 1941, and went home to the Lord June 22nd, 2023. After raising their family, Helen and her husband Tom moved to the Glen at Masons Creek. She helped to create and lead the Red Hatters there. She enjoyed playing board games and doing puzzles with her friends, especially Scrabble, Mexican Train, and Words with Friends. Kenneth Zwick. Kenneth was born December 28, 1950, and went home to the Lord July 10, 2023. Kenneth proudly served in the U.S. Air Force for 22 years. He loved being outdoors, fishing, and hunting. He enjoyed road trips and family vacations in the mountains or at the beach. He was a gentle soul who would do anything for his friends and family. William Lewandowski. William was born February the 14th, 1954, and went home to the Lord July 28th, 2023. Bill was born in Trenton and was a graduate of Rancocas Valley Regional High School. He worked part-time at Buyer Lock Shop. He enjoyed hunting and fishing. Hermione Curry. Hermione was born May 22, 1938, and went home to the Lord August 5, 2023. Hermione was born in Germany. She was a member of our Rosary Altar Society and sang in the choir. She loved to bake, sew, and travel with her husband, Paul. She is described as kind, gentle, beautiful, and spiritual. Her faith was very important to her. Edward Dolan Sr. Edward was born July 24, 1931, and went home to the Lord August 27, 2023. In 1956, Ed founded Dolan Contractors, which is still in operation today. He was a workaholic. Ed loved animals, especially his dogs Tiny and Teeny. He is described as strong both physically and mentally. Other qualities were honesty, charitable, generous, faithful, and humble. Rosemary Flatley. Rosemary was born January the 23rd, 1951, and went home to the Lord September 4th, 2023. Rosemary grew up in Queens, New York. She was a registered nurse and worked at the North Shore, Long Island Jewish Hospital for over 35 years. She was an active member and Eucharistic minister in our parish. Rosemary was an avid reader and loved to travel and had visited over 40 countries. Richard Madeleine. Richard was born April 29, 1953, and went home to the Lord September 22nd, 2023. Richard attended St. Francis Grammar School in Barrington, where he was taught by Irish nuns. He enjoyed imitating them by speaking with an Irish brogue. Rick was a pharmacist. He was also very handy. He could fix anything. Rick is described as happy, intelligent, handy, and frugal. Michael Schwartz. Michael was born November 16, 1968, and went home to the Lord September 24, 2023. Michael spent most of his career in sales. His main passion was music. He was a gifted musician, sharing his talent with others. He played in St. Peter's Folk Group and in the orchestra for musicals at Holy Cross High School. Michael was also a life member of the Masonville Fire Company No. 1. Dominic Rocky. Dominic was born February 2nd, 1938, and went home to the Lord October 4th, 2023. Dominic was born and raised in Philadelphia. He graduated from North Catholic High School. He was a very smart man. Dominic was a history buff. He could tell you anything you wanted to know about World War II. Everyone who met him commented on his hair. At age 85, he still had a full head of hair. Dominic is described as humble, kind, and a gentleman. Angela Ziegler. Angela was born September 24th, 1940, and she went home to the Lord October 25th, 2023. Angela is the mother of our cantor, Suzanne Bannister. She was born in London during World War II. Angela was a proud and capable homemaker who put her family first. She loved to cook and bake. At the age of 40, she became a fashion model. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. May all the souls of the faithfully departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen.